All right, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about translating military to civilian. Um, to me, it's a pretty simple task once you get the hang of it. Obviously, when you're first coming out of the military, you're kind of lost a little bit. So let's get into it. And today, I gotta admit, Bones Coffee is pretty good. I ordered some stuff from them and they gave me a free mug. All right. So, think bigger picture. Uh, like for me, working in ammo, you got supply, logistics, programs, finances, if you work accountability. Don't just look at it as building, storing explosives. Supply. If you worked at the squadron, or you an RA, program manager, whatever, think bigger picture. Look outside the box. Don't use jargon. Civilians do not understand how we talk in the military. If they looked at our EPRs, they'd have no clue what the heck is going on. They don't understand the layout. Just simplify it. Don't use jargon. Simplify. Now, technical skills. Um, I guess when understand communications gear, be a financial management expert. If you've got the technical skill, highlight it. If you're applying for a job in that field, if it doesn't apply, don't put it on the resume. If I'm going to apply for a logistics job, I'd probably put that I'm still currently certified in AMO 62 or has that certification or ISO container certifications. Interpersonal skills. Execute missions in the military. You likely coordinate with commanders, teammates, subordinates. Show how you've done this in your military, in your time. Um, this will go a long ways. It shows that you know how to talk with everyone from higher ups to your subordinates, um, and how you can unite a team, spark that flame. Leadership skills, if you've got them. They don't understand what, like for the Air Force, ALS, NCOA, Senior NCOA, the Shirt Symposium. They don't understand what any of that stuff is. But use experiences and examples that can relate. The Shirt Symposium, that's pretty much the equivalent of, in the civilian world, human resources. Uh, so connect the dots for them. Some examples of like titles to where you need to think outside the box. Obviously, commander would be like the senior manager or director of a company. Um, Warrant officers, department manager, and a senior NCO. I mean, is it going to be the same? Department manager, first line supervisor, um, infantry for you guys in the army. I know security force, police, whatever you guys want to call it. They're not Civilians aren't going to understand infantry all the time. First sergeant, personnel manager, like we talked about before, HR, squad leader, team chief, um, shift supervisor, stuff like that. Operations NCO, you don't want to use NCO, just drop that and change it to supervisor. Supply sergeant, supply manager, logistics manager. Just again, think bigger picture and try to look at the equivalence of whether or not are you just a worker, are you mid-range supervisor, or are you senior leadership, management, and be truthful. Because I will tell you, if you get yourself in over your head, that company's going to look at you and go, "There's no way that you were a senior manager, and realistically, you were an E5." Some more, just kind of keep you guys thinking outside the box. Combat, just use hazardous conditions. Um, Sometimes you can use combat, but again, you got to look at what company you're applying for. Metal, just say award. Company, you can use company, but it makes more sense saying like department or in your section. Um, your MOS, career specialty. Again, don't use jargon, just try to keep it simple. Subordinates, just say employees. Service member, employees. Um, Obviously, like right here, you can see security clearance equals security clearance. If you're applying for a job that has that requirement, that you would put it on a resume, then say that you've got a security clearance. Regulations, policy and guidelines. This is big if you're going to apply for like human resources or training section, to where you helped maybe write or revise some regulations. I know while I was in, I wrote plenty of base and local OIs, but if I said that, the civilians are going to be like, "What the heck are you talking about?" However, uh, company policies, group guidelines, uh, revisions, uh, new employee training. So this is the kind of help guide you in that right direction. Obviously, it's always going to depend on what job you're applying for. Maybe they do need some jargon. If you're applying for Lockheed Martin or Raytheon, MS2, DynCorp, but if you're not applying for something in the military contracting world, you need to learn to change your verbiage. And there's tons of websites. If you just Google translate military to civilian, there's tons of websites out there that'll help you out. So, as always, thanks for watching, and have a good afternoon.